Hi everyone. So today's video is going to be about things that I want to use up before the new year. So these are things that I don't want to carry into the new year with me. So these are things I want to use up. There's very little left in like these different uh, makeup and beauty items that I want to use up. Uh, if you're like me and if you usually tend to over consume a lot of beauty products, I'm sure you also have a lot of these skincare and makeup products and maybe even body care products that you have a few uses left and they're just sitting in your vanity or in your bathroom, and you're probably saving them for a occasion, or you just don't want to let them go yet, and which is why you're just hoarding them and they're just taking up space in your collection. I have been an avid consumer of Project Pan content on the internet for years now, ever since I realized that my collection is kind of getting out of hand. So ever since then, I've been watching a lot of Project Pan content, and it's probably one of my favorite type of videos to watch. Just mindlessly watch. I sometimes just have it happening on the background, and every time someone says I used up a lipstick or a highlighter, that gives me a lot of motivation. And also sometimes I feel there's hope there for me to use up certain things as well that I've spent a lot of hard-earned money procuring. So I have collected quite a few products from my bathroom, from my vanity, and just these are products that are at the very end of their usage. There's very little product left, and I could clear up some space by just using them up, and that way my vanity, my bathroom won't look as cluttered. So, yeah, let's begin. Here's everything I want to use up before the new year. There's probably another 2 weeks left of the year. So this first thing, this is not in no particular order. I'm just going to keep grabbing whatever comes to my hand. So the first thing I have is the Centella water alcohol free toner. I believe I got this free with one of my Cosrx orders. And it's a nice basic toner, and Centella usually calms your skin down. So yeah, it shouldn't be very difficult given how often I like to spritz my face with something, especially during the summer months. It's going to be a little difficult during the winter months, but yeah, I think I can be done. This a little less than half a bottle left. I've actually made a little mark here. This is where I'm at right now. So I should be able to use it up if I put my mind to it, but I believe it's one of the more difficult products to use up because there's quite a bit left, and each spritz, how many times are you going to spritz your face, right? Then I have this low pH Good Morning Gel Cleanser. This, I held a light source behind this so that I can get a fair idea of how much I've used. So this is where I'm at here. This is a AHA cleanser. I believe this is an AHA cleanser. But yeah, it's not very harsh. So I could get away with using it every day and not overstrip my skin or damage my skin barrier in any way. So I think this is a doable thing as well. I usually tend to wash my face at least once a day, preferably twice a day, but on most days I don't wash my face twice. I might just do it once. So, given that is the rate at which I use my facial cleansers, this may be a little ambitious because the next product is also a facial cleanser. This is also from Cosrx. This is the salicylic acid daily gentle cleanser. This is not something I can use every day, but what I can do is use it on my underarms and probably even on my neck region because that's where I tend to get acne. So this is about this much of it is left. Again, quite a bit of cleanser left on this as well. I might not be able to use up both the cleansers, but the hope is that I'll at least be able to use one of them up. This is a easy one. I have this much of this body lotion left, this mark that you can see here. So this is the Love Beauty and Planet body lotion. I could have used this up long ago, but I loved the fragrance of it so much, and the pump is such a nice pump that I kind of saved it and tried to savor it, but I think it's time I used it up. This is their Luscious Hydration Body Lotion. It's a 400 ml bottle. It's the coconut water and mimosa flower aroma. There's very little left. I think like 2, 3 good all over the body uses, and I'll be done with this. Another easy one to use up will be this Hydro Peel Glow Potion 10% AHA and 2% BHA exfoliating serum from Dot and Key. Dot and Key, once upon a time, used to be very expensive. That is when I got this. I believe this was, yeah, this was 1095. Now all of Dot and Key's products you could get on buy one get one for less than 500 rupees. But once upon a time, this used to be quite an expensive brand, and that's when I got this. This is a 30 ml bottle. I've used up most of it. So when I marked it, it is up to here. So and since it's a night serum, if I used it like 3 or 4 times this week and next, I'll be done with it. And I have a pretty high tolerance for AHA peels, so that shouldn't be easy. This, I don't know how much of it is left, but if I shake, I can still feel that there's product in there. When I spray, there's still product in there. But there's very little product. I can feel it. It's quite light. So this should be done in like 1 or 2 uses between my hair washes. If I use it once or twice, this will be done. This is the Batiste dry shampoo in the fruit and cheeky cherry variant. This is probably expired at this point. This is really, really old. But yeah, this is something I want to use up as well. This may be difficult, but this is the PAC Aquablast water-based moisturizer. This is great underneath makeup. I've loved it for underneath makeup, but there's very little left. But given how rarely I use makeup, this may be a little difficult to get out of my collection in the next 2 weeks. But yeah, if I'm not able to, I might just use it as a face cream and be done. Same with this one. This was also a great moisturizer for underneath makeup. I believe this is very similar to, I'm not sure, maybe the Hourglass Hydro Veil. This was a dupe for some really nice moisturizer for underneath of makeup. So this also, I have very little left. If you can see, it's at the very bottom. So again, this one also, if I'm not able to use it underneath of makeup each time, I might just use it as a face cream and finish it up. Then I have the 6 peptide skin booster. This I've used for most of this year. Because there's very little left, I want to use it up. This is where I'm at right now. And again, I think it's doable if I just use it twice a day, every day. I should be able to be done with it. I should be able to be done. Yeah, I should be able to finish it by the end of this year. The next thing I have is this Lush Lips from The Conscious Chemist. This is one of my favorite lip balms in all of these new peptide lip balm wave that came this year and probably even last year. This is one of my favorite lip balms. It's affordable. It's a great, great thick moisturizer. And I don't even get it in the tinted variant. I get it in this plain variant. I have a backup of this already, so I won't miss it too much if it's gone. And because I tend to have a lot of lip balms open at the same time, I wanted to focus on this and finish it up. I'm probably about halfway done. So again, it's a little ambitious, but this halfway mark is not very accurate because I couldn't really squeeze everything to the very bottom because a lot of it was getting out if I tried to do that. So this probably isn't a very accurate representation of how much is left because it feels quite light. So there might be much lesser than what you see right here left in this. Another reason why I want to use it up is because this one's applicator is gone. I mean, it's broken and the top part of the applicator is stuck in its cap. So I think it's time for me to just be done with it and probably crack open the new one. The next thing is a body wash. It's another body care product. So Plum actually had this in the larger bottle and I bought the larger bottle of the shower gel in Orchid You Not. I hate being wasteful and getting those tiny bottles of body washes, although I have been guilty of buying several of those. But when I see something in a large pack, I'm tempted to buy the large one. So this again I've used for a couple of months now and I've gotten it to this level right here. Again, because of how the shape of the bottle is, maybe a little difficult to use all of it up. It won't be as easy as it was to use the rest of it because the volume just keeps increasing as you go lower and lower. I might just switch back and forth and use this as a hand wash once in a while. And maybe then I'll be able to use it up much quicker. But yeah, again, quite ambitious but not impossible. This definitely is Ambitious. This is the Beat tint from Ilana. I don't know if it's expired, but I don't think so. It works pretty well. I have two of these, and which is why I want to use this up. I'm about halfway on this one, about here. This is where I'm at right now. And I think if I put my mind to it and just use it every day around the house, I should be able to be done. I should be done with this by the end of the year. But it is ambitious given that it's a tint. Actually, I don't think I'll be able to finish it by the end of the year. But yeah, I still want to use it as often as I can, and I guess I'll just get rid of it, discard it at the end of the year, because it's been a while since I've had this open, and since it has a lot of natural ingredients, might not sit so well, last so well, shelf life wise, so it's better that I get rid of it and not use it and then ruin my skin. So this year is going to be the end of this tint, whether or not, irrespective of me finishing it or not. Another product is this Estee Lauder Revitalizing Supreme Plus Eye Cream. This, I think, was a gift with purchase with either my Estee Lauder foundation, or was it something else? I can't recall. But there's the tiniest bit left. But if you think about it, this is an eye cream. There's very little surface area you would apply it on. And unlike unlike a lip balm, you wouldn't apply it as often. You probably would apply it once at night. Given that's how infrequently you would use it, maybe a little difficult to get rid of this much eye cream. But I think if I did use it every day, like everything else, I might be able to use it up. Then I have the azelaic acid face serum. Again, this is something I used quite frequently this year. This is from Plum, the Cica and azelaic acid 10% face serum. There's very little left in this. About, this is where I've marked it. So there's very little left, and also because I have quite a lot of acne, this might be something I could use for the next couple of days and see if it helps again with my acne. Then I have this sample size Dot and Key Strawberry Dew Tinted Sunscreen. I'm wearing it today. I probably will wear it for the next few days and I'll be done. There's not a lot in here. It's an 8 ml product, and if you use it the way a sunscreen is supposed to be used, it'll probably be done in 3 days. Then I have this Wishcare Hair Growth Serum. This, honestly, I don't even have to try. These I go through very often. Both my mother and I use it. We've probably gone through a dozen bottles at this point. But this is the Hair Growth Serum Concentrate from Wishcare. This is the 3% Redensil, 4% Anagen, 2% Bicapil, Caffeine, Biotin, Rosemary and Rice Water hair serum. I use it usually in the crown area, just this part, and just rub it in and I'm done. I also like the Be Body Wise one, but this is the one I'm currently using. I don't think there's a lot in here. This is where I've marked it up to, and I will most definitely be done by the end of the year with this one. One last product that I want to use up is this salicylic acid and niacinamide solution with 2% BHA exfoliator. This is from Formula RX. I don't even know if they make this anymore. This was 499 rupees when I bought it. This is quite old, at least 2 years old. But yeah, I hope it's not expired. Let's see. 12 months. It has expired. So yeah, whatever happens, this one will be done by the end of this month. Otherwise, I'll be getting rid of it, because with skincare, there's only so much you can push. Yeah, I usually tend to use things unless they seem to have gone bad, but I'm trying to use up the things that are older in my collection, especially when it comes to skincare, because if they're not efficient enough, then what's really the point of using it, right? So yeah, that's the last product I want to use up. That's everything. That's going to be quite challenging, but I think I'm up for it. And since I mostly stay home nowadays, or at least I'll be staying home for the next couple of months, I think skincare and body care is the category of my beauty closet or collection, if you will, that I'll be able to use up more often than the makeup side of things. So I'm glad to kick off the new year, I would say, with a project pan and not with a haul. Uh, and in fact, for the next year, I do have plans of focusing on lower consumption, buying fewer things. I just have gotten to a point where the things I own have gotten too overwhelming. I don't even have place to store the things that I own, and I don't want it to go on this way. I usually consider myself to be a very environmentally conscious person. I don't like to use single use plastics and try not to buy water bottles or use plastic cutlery when I'm out and about. But then think if I think about it, I'm doing a lot of harm by my consumption habits. What I need. What I want. But do I really want and need all of the things that I have? Definitely not. Do I have a massive beauty collection? Yes. Is it a problem? Yes. And should I work on it? Yes. And that's my goal for 2026, to not overconsume and to kind of cut down my purchasing, my spending on things like this that I don't use, things that will eventually go bad, and things that definitely aren't a positive impact on the planet. So, yeah, that's my plan to pan or use up, project use up by 2026, or project year end use up for 2025. And I'll probably update you on how much of it I was able to finish. Maybe by the beginning of next year, maybe first week of Jan, I'll have a video out telling you how successful I was. So for some reason, the rest of the video clip is cut out. But what I was saying is I will post an updated video on how I progressed. So I'll see you all in that one.